Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am here with day 11 of 30 Days of Sketches. And today's sketch is a double layout by Allison Davis. And here is a lot of pictures. So there are 3 3x4s, 2 2x2s, so 5 pictures on this side, and then a ton of little itty bitties and a 2 1/4 by 3 here, and then 2 4x6s. So lots of opportunities if you've got something that you want to load up pictures. Typically I don't do that many pictures on a layout because I until this last year haven't made little pictures. But I now use the Project Life app and have made a bunch of pictures for this specific layout to document something that needed tons of pictures. So the prompt for Dottie about flair for this is tabs and labels. And on the sketch, there's, some tabs and labels in some different places. So I actually have spent more time preparing and prepping for this layout than I have probably most of them this month and maybe even in September when I did this. Just because I really wanted to get as many pictures from this event on one page or 2 pages as I could. And there was a lot of planning and prepping, which I normally don't do. I titled my channel Scrapping on the Fly for a reason. But I wanted this to be not exactly like this, but very close. This side right here is like movie strips is what it looks like to me. And so I actually am going to kind of mimic that. So let me show you what I've got. So I have 2 pieces of solid white cardstock from Hobby Lobby. This American Crafts rose colored wood grain that I'm going to put on the left layout. I've used some of it already to cut some things. Then I have this vellum, and I'm holding it down to the blue so you can see that it's got white cursive on the vellum. And I want to incorporate that at least a little bit. And then I have this shiny blue paper, and I don't know how well you can tell it's shiny, but it is super lovely. And I incorporate that on both layouts. And here's where I've cut this film strip for the left layout. And then the thickers that I want to use for my title are the lucky ones. And I'm going to use this white side. And then this is a shiny green, not gold. And I think that it's either Recollections or the Paper Studio. And I'm definitely going to get those in on the layout. These Jolie's by You are wedding ephemera. And so I want to get those used. They're from like early to mid 2000. And then this is, I believe, from Susan Branch. It doesn't have it on the back, but I have other things similar that do. And then these are all things I cut out on my Cricut. Some film strips, a tag, some tabs, and some labels. And then I have these 4 Dottie About Flair. That floral would be lovely, but I don't think it's going to match. So I think I'm going to use the silver in one of those other pink ones. And then here are the pictures, and it is for a wedding, as you probably could have guessed. I used Project Life to get multiple pictures on a 6x6, a 4x6. So I have 2 4x6s that have 6 pictures on them, and 2 that have 3x4. This is the mask from the wedding because it was during the pandemic, and so I want to go ahead and get that used. And then this top piece is the original wedding invitation. The bottom one is the second one that came out because of the pandemic. They had a second invitation, but the blue is gorgeous, and I'd love to use that on the layout. And then this was on my daughter's bouquet. Her and my son were both in the wedding, and it's for my sister-in-law. And so I have that, and I'm going to try and incorporate that. So I've got lots of stickers and papers and all sorts of stuff. So let's see how this goes. So the first thing I did was get this left layout taken care of. I felt like it might be the easiest because the right layout I was dreading a little. I really wanted the aspect of it, but getting it the way I wanted it, I was really concerned was going to be a nightmare. So I just took that rose-colored wood grain and made 2.5 inches on the top and 2.5 inches on the bottom and tacked it underneath. And I really love that. But it wasn't standing out against that white because it's really light colored. So I inked it with my new Tim Holtz in Crushed Olive. And I just ink it all the way around the pink. And then I get that tacked down. And I'm going to start fiddling around with some of the little things that I've already cut out, like this tab. And I realized when I cut it, I wasn't thinking about the fact that it was going to be right there against that same color. And so then this, of course, is going to be right on top of the same color. So I was a little frustrated that I didn't get that figured out beforehand, but that's okay. It's a small price to pay. It ends up working out just fine. So I do take this ribbon from my daughter's bouquet and cut a piece just long enough to wrap around, and you can see through that, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm actually happy with that because you can still see that it's a film strip and not just that blue with the little holes in the top. And I love the way that looks. It adds so much more to the layout because it's so much more special. So I get my pictures trimmed down, and they were 3x4, but I trim them a little bit more so that there is just enough space for my tag, because my the blue film strip is only 11.5 inches wide. So, and I maneuvered it on my Cricut so that it would go across, and I wanted that gap. I know that in the layout sketch, it has it go all the way across, but I'm perfectly thrilled with this. So I get that set down, and then I get started on the right, just kind of eyeballing. And this is the concept I want. I made 6 of these just in case, because I wasn't really sure, maybe even 8 of them. I didn't know what was going to fit where, how I was going to use them, if I was going to need more. So I just made a bunch of them. And the holes in the middle are just perfect for a 2x2 picture. So I'm going through the 2x2 pictures I cut up, because on the sketch there are 2 on the left layout, 1 at the top of the right layout, and then a ton of them in the little film strips. So I decided I'm going to get layout number 1, or the left side, done so I can move it and have the entire space to work on what I'm doing with the right side. So I get it down on the vellum. I just laid it down there where I wanted it so I could get it centered, so I knew where I wanted to have the tag on the vellum. And so I cut that out. I don't know why I didn't cut this part out. And I get that tagged down and I move it over. So I lay my 12x12 white paper for the next one, and I get it down to where I can mark where the 6x6 is going to go. So I know how far over the picture on the top left corner is going to be. And so then I put just a little bit of glue on the bottom part of this maroon and on the side part of this pink, because I want to be able to lift and tuck the pictures under. But I need to get these in so I can see how big the pictures, or what pictures are going where. Because where things are falling off the side or the top, I want to make sure the picture that goes there's not going to cut a head off or something. And I printed some pictures specifically so that they would be okay to be cut off. So like this very first one I'm putting down that's going to get like practically cut in half is like the groom's table that had like Mustangs and chocolate and stuff on it. And you can get the gist of that in this little picture, but you don't need the whole thing. And then this top one is a picture of the little bag that I showed in the beginning that says Happily Ever After. And so I cut the top of it off so that it would fit the Happily Ever After in the little hole. And so now I'm trying to figure out how I want to use this invitation. I'm thinking about matting my picture with it. And then I decided I don't want to do that because I'm going to lose a lot of that card. So I decide I'm going to flat out matte this picture, or put this picture straight down. And I'm actually going to use the entire 6x6 or 6x4. I don't know, I keep saying that. And putting that down. It's going to cover a little bit of that top square for the pictures, but that's okay because I'm not using every one of those holes for the film strip pictures. Some of them will be filled with other things. And so I get that down, so that gives me a better guide for things. So then I'm trying to figure out and finagle. I get the rest of the pictures I want down, and I'm trying to, every other picture and every other I fill with the negative from the other film strip. So the maroon one has has the light pink, and the light pink has the maroon. So I love the way that looks. I'm so happy with the way this turned out. After all the work I put into it, I was a little worried. So I decide I'm going to go ahead and put this mask at the bottom. I did cut the little strings off because I didn't want them getting caught. I didn't want the bulk of them. So I cut those out and put that down just like I did the picture at the top, flush with the corner and the side and the bottom. And so I get that laid down, and I notice there's going to be a little gap from where the end of the mask is to the movie reel. So I just take the heart that came out of one of the tabs that I made, and I just glue it down. So then I get my ruler after I'm done and figure out exactly how wide the space is between the mask and the picture, so that I know how much I need to cut off of this invitation. So it was like 4 1/4, so I cut it with just a little bit more so that the scallop can go above. I don't know why I'm worried about blocking it off. It's just the place for the venue. It's not like it's their home address or something. So anyway, I love this. I love this. You all, I was so stressed out. Look, I've got it trimmed out now. Oh, I was so worried after all the work I put into it that it was going to look a hot mess and tear, and I almost tore the very first page. But I worked it out and I fixed it. So anyway, this little piece that I cut off of the invitation still has a lot of that blue flower on it. So I thought I'm going to use this scallop over on the left side so it brings the left and the right together. And I love how that looks. However, I'm going to make it better. So then I start working with the 2x2 pictures that are left. And in the sketch, there's 2 on the left side and 1 in the top right, on the top left corner of the right side. And I want to do that, but I think I'm going to add some more as well, because I have at least 1 extra picture, and so I want to get that down. So what I did was I took the squares that came out of the film strips, so I'm not wasting, and I just did 1 wonky and then did 1 straight. So you get both the maroon and the pink on all 4 of the little 2x2s, and I did trim them down a little. See, I made it better. I made it to where now I can put the tab down, and that blue is not blue on blue. It's got that little white bit from the invitation, giving it a little break. I'm so excited. So I'm getting all this stuff put down. I'm testing how I want to put the other tab down, and I'm going to use it over here. I have this one picture of my son. Doesn't he look dapper in his suit? Ugh. And so I'm working on getting the pictures, little 2x2 pictures down. I put 1 down up on the top. You can almost not even see it on this camera, on the video, because it's matted, but it's very similar to the picture it's sitting on. So in the top of the right, I did put a 2x2 picture there. And then in the bottom on top of the mask, I put a 2x2 picture there of the bride in her beautiful dress. And then where it calls for them on the top of that tag, I put them down there too. And then I put the rest of that piece from the invitation, I tucked it coming out both sides. So it brings it all together. So then I have this one other tab that I was going to end up putting on the other page, but decided I would ink it with that same crushed olive. And then I put it down, and because I had to cut it off, I went ahead and inked the side where I cut it so it was all around. And I love that green. It brings up a really pretty color in, and I love that. So I get that down, and now this cluster is starting to look really good. I get my Dahlia About Flare out and put them in the general idea of where I want them, but I want to wait to tack them down until I get my ephemera out. So I put this dove on top of that invitation and realize it just completely disappears, even though it's a little off-white. So I put it over on the film strip and put the other one up at the top. And I loved that because it is helping to block a little flat line over there. And so I cover that up. So then I get the title down, and I'm going to write family. And the word on there says moment, but there's an S on one of the other words, and I just took that off and added it. So it says family moments because there were more than one. And then I add a couple of the little puffy stickers from the same, oh, they're foam, from the same kit over to the film strip. So it brings that same color and texture to the right side. And then I put some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive on the gloves and put them over there. Look, nobody's wearing gloves in this picture. I don't care. They're beautiful. They match. They go well. It's all fabulous. And then I tacked down that dove. Now, let me say, you won't see me tack down the dove on the left side because I didn't. It's still not tacked down right this second. I'm going to fix it. So if it moves when I show you the close-ups, I'm sorry. But I did fix it, and it's going to be pretty much where you see it right now. Good gracious. I'll just say right now, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. And I am tired. I worked all day and went to the vet. And been working on getting videos done. So I am finishing up the little tab that I had made for here for the for that corner over there. Good gravy. And it has the little wood grain heart inside of it, which I love. And there's a little wood grain heart on the other side on that tab as well. And then these little blue dots that I'm tapping down or gluing down are actually the inside of the little tab. And so I just kept them because it's such a pretty color, and it just adds, instead of using an enamel dot right there, I just added those. And then I pull out these, and I swear, I think they're from Paper Studios, but they could be Recollections. I can't remember. But this says Memories, and like I said, this is not gold, it is green. It's like a shiny green. And I put that down over on the tab, and then I take this floral and tuck it behind the tab up here on the top left, and put that little heart down, and then put that little floral behind it so it's peeking out, and it's got like a light blue, which I'm okay with because there's light blue in the invitation. And then I take this other one that says From Far and Near We're All Here, because we were in Alabama for the wedding and we are from Kentucky. And so then I get this Susan branch out, and I start putting down some hearts in some different little spaces that were empty. And I bring the hearts over to the left layout as well so that it is cohesive. And there's 3 hearts, I think, at least on each of the layouts, maybe 4. I don't always pay attention to the whole odd number rule. Actually there's 5, so hey, I guess I did. Unknowns to me. So then I pull some word phrases off of here. Like I was going to originally use a Tim Holtz and change my mind because it had black in it, and I wasn't really bringing any black into the layout. So I put this quote down here that says, "Love in its essence is spiritual fire" by Emanuel Swedenborg. I don't know. And then I have put the faith, hope, and love up on the picture, and that's of the wedding venue, standing up where the bride and groom are going to be. And then in the top corner is where that picture is. That's why it looks like there's 2 chandeliers in the picture. And then I pull out one more that says, "There's nothing half so sweet in life as love's young dream." And I think it's Clement Seymour. And they are young. This is my husband's youngest sister getting married. And so let's see what other fabulousness happens here. I started to be done and show you all the close-ups, and then I realized, I want to add these. I thought they were enamel dots. They say they're gemstones, and they are from the Paper Studios, and they're like a white iridescent, so they're very lovely, and they bring out whatever color it's around, so it's like a pinky color. And then I think I'm done, and I am so in love with this layout. I hope y'all love this. It was so much fun, a little frustrating, but so much fun. I'm going to show you some slow-mo close-ups. please go down below in the description box and click on the links so you can hop along and see all the different takes on this. I am so excited to see what other people did. I really stuck pretty close to this sketch, but went a little crazy, and I love every single bit of this. And it was such, I mean, it's so worth it to me that it all turned out this wonderful. I just am so excited. So here, look at that little dove didn't even move in my slow-mo movement. See, there you can see the extra little picture. So anyway, I hope you all have a great day. I hope that you get a chance today to do something you love with someone you love. And like I said, please go down and follow along. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe. If you want to hit the like button, that would be amazing. If you want to comment, I would love that too. And I will promise you I will comment back. So have a great day and happy scrapping.